I got a question for you. How many layers of back muscle do we have? 1, 2, 3? Not really sure, and why is it even really important? Well, let me tell you, it is important if you've ever had an episode of lower back pain. And 80% of us have all had back pain. So I do think it's very relevant. Hey everyone, welcome to the front row. My name is Ed DeBoo, physical therapist out of Bellingham, Washington. If this is your first video on the channel, welcome. If you find the video helpful, please remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and ding, hit the notification so you never miss another video. In this video, I'm going to talk about the most important muscle we need to strengthen in the low back. It's called the multifidus muscle. And I'm going to show you different ways to do it. Lying down, standing up, because I understand that some people have difficulty getting off the floor. If you've watched any of my videos before, I talk a lot about trying to keep that ability to get up and down off the floor. And it may not be pretty, but it's important that we do it, especially as we get older in age. However, some people can't. But I'll show you some ways in which you can still do it standing up. So hopefully we're taking away all excuses. Everyone should know what the multifidus is, why it's important, how many layers of back muscle we have by the end of this video. All right, let's get going. But let's do a quick anatomy review so we get an understanding of why we have 3 layers in the first place.
The first layer of back muscles are the superficial layer. And an example of superficial layer are the traps, latissimus dorsi, the glutes. These are the prime movers. These are the ones that are responsible for taking us out of neutral. Then we have the intermediate layer. And now you'll notice these muscles are starting to run parallel to the spine. And their job is a little bit more stability of the spine, rector spinae being the main muscle group here. Then we get into the multifidus, and this is the deepest layer, and this is the one that almost turns to a fatty-like substance if we ignore it, if we have chronic lower back pain. And this one sits literally in between each vertebrae and is critical to stabilize the lower spine.
The first exercise I'm going to show you is my go-to exercise for the multifidus. You've probably seen it before. It's a bird dog. It's an alternating arm and leg exercise. And that's my favorite one, but don't worry if you can't do this one, we'll make modifications. You're going to be on your hands and knees. Your hands are going to be right below your shoulder. Your knees are going to try to be below your hips. You're not down here. You're not all the way up and through here. A little bit of a chin tuck. You're going to engage the transverse abdominis by pulling your belly in towards your spine. Nice and strong. You're going to kick one leg out first. Your heel is going to be no higher than your buns. And so I don't want you all the way up here. I want you to keep your heel in line with your buns. And then once you get your balance, reach and elongate with the opposite arm. Thumbs up. Your hand is going to be no higher than your shoulder. The key to this is the hold. And it's a nice solid 3 to 5 second hold. Then we switch. Leg first. Get your balance. Arm, elongate, reach, hold it. That was in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The crux of the exercise is the hold. Not necessarily getting me there, but when I'm holding is when I really want to work and keep my balance. And that's what really tends to work the multifidus. Maybe you can't lift that opposite arm, so what you may have to do is just start off by lifting up a leg and getting your balance and maintaining that, going from a 4-point stance to a 3-point stance, because going to a 2-point stance, you don't quite have the strength or stability or balance yet, but that's okay, you work up to it. Now let's say, for example, if that position does not work for you. I want a pillow underneath your hips, and you're just gonna lie down flat. Now, once again, we've taken the balance component out of it, so it's a little bit easier to do. What you'll do is lift up one leg, just enough to clear the floor. It's not about how high you can go, just enough to clear the floor. 5-second hold, back down. If you can do that, and it's pretty easy, then bring the opposite arm into it. So now I'm lifting up my right arm, thumbs up, and my left leg. And I'm holding that for a 5-second count, and then dropping it back down. And what I might do is repeat 5 reps on this side before I switch, and then we'll switch. Right leg up, just enough to clear the floor. Left arm up, and back down. Once again, it's 1 set of 10. Back and forth is considered 1 rep, and you're going to hold it for about a 3 to 5 second count. Say, for example, you have trouble lying down. No worries, there's other ways to work the multifidus muscle standing up. Not quite as effective. So remember, the bird dog is our #1 choice. but something is better than nothing. Imagine you have a kitchen counter, a couple different ways you can do it. I'm on my elbows. If I lean forward, and what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to keep my back flat. So I'm not rounding it, but my back is flat and I'm supporting myself. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this right leg and I'm going to try to lift it up, keeping my knees straight as opposed to bent. My leg is straight and you should feel those paraspinal muscles kind of contracting. And I'm going to hold that for a 5-second count, bring it back down, and switch and do the other side. It's challenging to do an arm, but you can if you need to. Slowly lift up that arm and you'll notice yourself, wow, okay, so this works a little bit on balance as well too. Switch and try the other side. Now let's say it hurts to bring up too far, don't bring it up so far. What happens if your knee is bent? Well, it just changes the emphasis to the glutes a little bit. So it's still a good exercise to do, but it's not emphasizing the multifidus muscle as much as I like. Maybe you do a couple sets of each because having glute strength is critical as well too. But Ed, I can't bend over like that. That hurts my back. No problem. What you can do is imagine standing up at your counter, nice and tall. Take one leg and just bring it back. You'll feel your glutes working, but you also have that multifidus and the back extensors working. You can take your opposite arm and kind of reach it back behind you as well. And hold that for a 5-second count. And then back down. Right leg back, hold. You'll feel the glutes. You'll feel the extensors. Take the opposite arm and pull it back. But Ed, I'm not really having any lower back pain. Is it still important to work on my multifidus? Absolutely, because we don't want that lower back pain. The multifidus muscle will tend to actually turn to a fatty-like substance in people that have chronic lower back pain. So we don't want your multifidus to turn to fat. So you have to make sure that you incorporate multifidus strengthening within your exercise routine. All right, so now you learned something. Next time you're at a dinner party and someone says, oh, I threw my back out, then you can just throw out, well, it's probably your multifidus. And just take a little bit of knowledge and roll with it. It works great at parties. If you have any questions, leave it down below. If you have not subscribed, please do so. Remember, give the video a thumbs up and turn notifications on if you would like to see new videos in the future from me. All right, take care. Good luck.